All right, I just watched Frankenstein, the Guillermo del Toro version of this book, which has been remade many, 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 many times. And I've never quite been satisfied with how accurate it is to the book. And I am a huge fan of the book. I even brought it with me to theater for some reason, like a little kid holding his teddy bear. Well, I can easily say that this Guillermo del Toro version of Frankenstein is by far my favorite adaptation. Now, it is still not a complete adaptation of the book. There's quite a few plot deviations and also shortenings of plot things. And a lot of people are saying this movie is really long. It is really long. However, I didn't feel it at all. I was engaged the entire time. And the plot elements that were changed or removed or shortened, I actually agree with it. It's like how something can work in a book, but not really work in a movie. For example, in Lord of the Rings, in the book, you have Samwise and Faramir who are not tempted by the ring. But in the movie, you have them tempted by the ring because it works better in a movie that way, and it would take away the power of the ring to have people popping out of everywhere who are able to resist the temptation so well. So there's a certain key plot element in the book that is not done in the movie, and I'm okay with it. Because unless you do like a straight up like mini series, like 10-hour mini series, then I think this change is actually for the better. So other versions have done this plot point, but I liked how this movie handled it. So really quick, the acting was great. The music by Alexander Desplat was really fantastic. Some people are saying it was weird. I thought it was very classical and very moody, but then it had times where it would just get like really heavy and scary, particularly when spoiler alert, if you've never read the book, you've been warned, particularly when the monster comes looking for Frankenstein and confronts him on this wedding night. The music on that scene was incredible. Okay, did I already say the acting was great? The acting was great. The scenery was fantastic and beautiful. All the shots were laid out very nicely. Now, one minor quibble is that some of the effects shots actually did not look very good. They looked like from yesteryear, and there's quite a lot of fire in the movie, and being somewhat of an expert on fire myself, the fire did not look good. It was some really fake looking fire. However, that didn't hurt the narrative or the enjoyment of the movie, but you can really tell when people give it their all with fire, and they played it safe here. Now, there were certain parts of the book that I've always wanted to see on the screen, namely the construction of the monster. And I will say there were parts I was smiling during the movie, but I won't tell you exactly when, lest ye think me ill. Did I already say that the movie was quite gory? Well, it was. But I had a very terrible day before this, and I really needed an escape. And the entire 17-hour runtime of this movie, I was completely engaged and transported, and I enjoyed it the whole way through. But it definitely earns its ratings. Like I said, it's got quite a bit of gore, and there was some scenes where someone was taking a picture of someone and they had kind of sheer clothing on, and you can see stuff underneath that, which I was disappointed to see that because the IMDb Parents Guide didn't talk about that. So it's got a little bit of that. But there's no swearing or sex in it, but quite a lot of violence. Oh, one thing as far as the action and the violence goes, anytime in the book where there could be an opportunity for action or violence, if they brought that over to the movie, they increased it, right? So they just ramped it up so there could be action scenes. And I don't think that hurt it, but it was definitely oh, okay, this has been just inflated to be a bigger action scene, which it was okay, because I mean, it was pretty slow-paced movie, or as deliberate as a mature moviegoers say, it's deliberately paced movie. But overall, I was really happy with it, and I loved the ending. I thought it was very touching, and like I said, everyone did great, especially the guy that played the monster. And here's just a little plug for the Norton Critical Edition of Frankenstein. These are my favorite editions of books, so just a little plug for one of those. Well, if you like Frankenstein and you want to see the more gory bits and grotesque, if you like that kind of thing in Guillermo del Toro's style, then I would definitely recommend this. I think this is the best adaptation of Frankenstein that we've had. Prove me wrong. I know there's the one called Mary Shelley's Frankenstein with Robert De Niro. That one came close, but ultimately had some, just didn't do it for me. And then I've always liked the classic Boris Karloff version, but it's not like that is more of an interesting artifact of film than of a great adaptation of the book. So it's a good time at the movies, but it's not anything like the book. Kind of like the movie Blade Runner is a good time at the movies, but very departed from the book. Oh, and speaking of Guillermo del Toro, his Pinocchio Netflix movie is absolutely incredible. And the same guy that did Geppetto's voice, I'm pretty sure, I don't even have to look it up, because it's a very distinct voice, was the blind man in this movie. And he did so good, and it was so touching. All right, well, this movie will probably bomb because there was no one in the theater, but I think a movie is good if it makes me want to make my life good, if it makes me want to forgive myself and others, if it makes me want to read and just do good in the world, then I think it did its job, and I had a blast. So let me know if you see it or if you're interested, or if you have a different idea of what the best Frankenstein adaptation is, because I love this story. And I've read the book many times and listened to it many times, both the 1818 version and what's the other one, like 1830 something. Anyway, yeah, there it is. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.